Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Happy Friday. Happy March 22nd, 2024. Today, I'm going to turn off my phone here. um, all right. So, again, happy Friday. Happy March 22nd, 2024. We're here. I'm super excited to have my Aroma Sisters back. We are back doing the springtime and aromatherapy, and we are super excited to be here. So, I'm going to bring them on stage. First, we have our Dr. Sheila. Woohoo! Welcome, Dr. Sheila, for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Yes. Next, we have Sean. Yay!
Hello.
Welcome, Sean. And last but not least, my Lee April Burton. Yay! Welcome.
Hi,
Lee
everybody.
April.
Welcome.
I'm so excited to have us Aroma Sisters back. Yes, we are officially coining ourselves the Aroma Sisters, y'all. And we were here back in December, and we got such a warm reception. We want to come back and bring you some more of seasonal aromatherapy and how it can help you, right? So, springtime bring on its own set of concerns, right? We were here in wintertime talking about the use of aromatherapy. Now we're going to talk specifically about the springtime and what you can do with essential oils and the use of aromatherapy for the springtime for overall wellness. Okay. And we obviously there are many essential oils, and we typically will rotate them based on our needs, and seasonal aromatherapy is no different. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking to you about that. What essential oils and within our specialties that we can utilize them for to help us, right? So to get started, I would we can just go around the room when we talk about, our individual things that we want to talk about today. Let me cue up what I wanted to cue up here and get our ambiance going. All right, hopefully that's not too loud. All righty. And I see the comments. Oh, hi, H&D Bar. Good evening, sis. Case Mobile Notaries in the house. Let me pop up on the screen like I know what I'm doing. There you go. Hi. We have Case Mobile Notary. Happy Friday. And the H&D abroad. Yes, battling allergies and asthma is in the U.S. South. Please help. Oh, in the U.S. South. Ooh, yes. So you understand about that, right? Who was it? I think, Sean, you're in the South, right?
Me too.
So we, you know what? We're going to start with that. That can start us off. Sean, could you share with us a little bit about your background, and what can you share with us today? What do you want to share with us today about springtime and answering this cry for help, right?
Yes.
What we came to talk about today.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Sean, but I'm affectionately known as the Oil Whisperer. And I do live here in Louisiana, where the pollen and the allergies, the sinuses are at an all-time high. So I understand. I've actually been doing this, serving and helping people to find balance and wellness through natural means. And my company, Whispering Wellness Aromatics, we focus on supporting women who are dealing with the challenges of chronic illness, namely fibromyalgia. Because I know firsthand how frustrating it can be and how alone you can feel. So I step in and I help women to take charge of their health. And with my foundation in aromatherapy and just being committed to holistic health, so I offer alternative ways so that they can embrace that wellness that resonates not just with the body, but with the mind as well. So what I'm going to be talking about is, with the change of seasons, that is with these chronic conditions, how we can utilize aromatherapy for better wellness. And we're coming out of the winter blues,
Right.
And everything is blooming and blossoming. So that's where that rejuvenation of that energy of spring can wash away those shadows of the winter and
Mhm.
bring in a sense of renewal to
Mhm.
our lives, right? Spring can actually make us feel amazing. But when it comes to those drastic changes in temperature,
Yes.
pollen, allergens in the air,
Mhm.
and let's not leave out those, the time just changed.
Yes.
So we have to deal with adjustments to
Mhm.
daylight savings time. So it
Yeah.
affects us physically and mentally, right? And so what I do is um, promote the safe usage of essential oils for allergy symptoms to alleviate allergy symptoms, and also just helping to boost the immune system
Mhm.
because we know that that is involved with the allergies,
Yeah.
um, and just enhancing the mood, right?
Mhm.
And so I feel like that is very important
Mhm.
to be safe with our usage of aromatherapy,
Mhm.
and also consult with a professional, right? We know
Mhm.
that that's very
Mhm.
important. So
Mhm.
that's where I come in at, and make suggestions for individuals who are dealing with chronic illness. So that's one thing, dealing with the chronic illness, but then they have to also deal with these allergies, right?
Mhm.
So you may wonder what are some, we in our theme or our topic, we talked about self-care.
Mhm.
So what are some self-care practices that um, for spring that individuals who deal with chronic illness can do? And because of the limitations that we have,
Mm.
then we know that we can't do what everybody else is out there doing. You
Mhm.
know, people
Okay.
are out and they are gardening,
Mhm.
they're going outside and just enjoying nature, right?
Mhm.
But we can look at other things that we can do, such as, okay, you may not be able to go outside and garden like others, but let's do maybe a house plant or two,
Mhm.
that we can manage and take care of. That's definitely self-care,
Mhm.
um, and caring for our plants. But then when it comes to aromatherapy, I think about how I enjoy reading and journaling.
Mhm.
And a thing that you can do while reading and journaling is diffuse those oils.
Mhm.
Have them going um, while you're reading and you're journaling, and it helps to, you know, open up the mind, and also helps us to focus and just to enjoy that quiet time, right? And another thing is, I also encourage steam inhalation.
Mm.
So that's a little different from diffusing the oils,
Mhm.
because it's easy to do. You don't have to have a diffuser. Just
Mhm.
get a bowl of water, a
Okay.
bowl of hot water, and add 1 or 2 drops of your preferred oil. And I'll talk about, like what oils
Right.
um, in my next topic. But you add 1 or 2 drops in the bowl and cover your head with a towel.
Mhm.
And you close your
Mhm.
eyes and inhale that steam for about 5 to 10 minutes. That does wonders for opening up those nasal passages and letting the aromas, not just the aroma, but the constituents in those oils that are anti-inflammatory. It helps to soothe and relieve that inflammation in
Yeah.
those nasal passages. So that's a really good, inexpensive thing that we can do. You don't have to worry about going out and buying a diffuser. You
Right.
know, we can actually do that with the steam inhalation. And it's another thing that's people try to talk about with your bath, you know,
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
you may draw your bath water. Well, I don't know how you ladies feel about it, but I, I don't promote using essential oils by themselves directly in your bath water, um, because they don't mix well with water, right?
Right. Rise to the top.
We should use a proper dispersant, you know, because it could, those oils are powerful. Some oils are hot and they can literally burn you. Um, but if you're not a bath person, where you use the oils with um, the Epsom salt or sea salts or things like that, then how about adding a couple of drops of oil to the shower floor?
Hmm.
You know, and that steam will bring that soothing aroma up and relieve that congestion for you.
Yeah.
So those are some of, you know, some of my self-care practices, you know, that I encourage to help individuals who are dealing with chronic illness, who are dealing with allergies.
Hmm.
And there are other ways too, you know, that we can use our essential oils. But I don't want to take it all from you ladies, right?
No, but you said some important things. I
Yeah.
want to touch on a couple of things that you shared with us. You said the word constituents. For the people who don't know what constituents are, we understand what that word means. But in layman's term, constituents just means what? The
It
property.
means, right, the therapeutic
Oils.
properties of the oils.
Mhm.
What are the compounds that make up those oils?
Yeah. What is the ingredient of the plant that makes the oil?
Right,
What helps
right.
us? Just to put it plainly. And 'cause I'm always thinking about the other person, like they don't know what you're talking about, Danielle. Constituent, what is that? And so, um, and and then another thing that you brought up is you mentioned about the bath, utilizing essential oil in the bath. Oh boy, yes. And so, if I can expand on that, you were talking about the essential oil because it don't mix, it rises to the top, and you can't get in the bathtub fast enough, right? So what happens when we're lowering our what down into the bathtub? Our bum
That's
bum.
right.
Mhm.
We're lowering our bum bum, and our bum bum oil. And I'm not. This is a PG-13 channel, so but you know our lady parts get to hitting them, and that ain't a pretty sight.
Mm-mm.
No, not a
So
pretty feeling either.
no,
No.
not
No.
I feel us hopping up after a while. Like, oh,
Especially,
I
yeah.
don't
Especially
feel
if you use a hot oil, like
Ooh,
cinnamon or something like that. Can you
right.
imagine?
No.
that's horrible.
So that's why we
Okay.
want to emphasize. We
Yes.
don't think, and just to bring this point home, I was watching another YouTube video and they were dumping eucalyptus globulus in the tub, but they were using it in a manner on children. Well, if you know anything about eucalyptus globulus, it's not recommended for children under the age of 10 or babies or just children, period. But the point was, when I saw that, it's like, oh, they're dumping eucalyptus. And I sort of did because I'm an aromatherapist. I don't know if you ladies do this too. When I see aromatherapy videos, I'm like, oh, what they using and how they using it, And I saw and I looked up and said, she just dumping that all in there with that, with those children. And that's why you're here, ladies and gentlemen, to learn. We're here to share, best practices, if you will, for using essential oils along with our specialties and how we share aromatherapy. So you'll take from us a safety as well away from this information. We always say safety is key with us.
That's
Yes.
right.
For sure. So thank you for sharing that, Sean. I'm up. Lee, April, are you ready, sweetheart? You wanna?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we're still talking about the allergies and asthma. Oh, let me tell you guys who I am. My name is April Burton. I live in California, which is like it gets hot out here, but it has its moments when it's like right now we're in the season of bloom, and it seems like we've been here even before spring even began, and we've been sniffling and coughing, and everybody's worried about coughing because we think we have COVID. So it's just a huge, or should I say the C word? I probably shouldn't have brought that up. But anyways,
Right.
it's been really a challenge in dealing with the allergies. But not only that, like what I do, my business is named Composed Warriors, and what we do is support those who are caregivers, particularly those who are home caregivers for those that maybe they have children who have been born within the home. And one of the topics that I also support is specializing in chronic pain. So using essential oils and natural holistic methods to manage that. And so imagine being a caregiver or somebody dealing with chronic pain. And then, you have not only the worries and stresses associated with that, but then you have these allergies and stuff to fight and deal with. So, of course, that's very uncomfortable. And not only that, these allergies and asthma could also exacerbate,
Mhm.
or make these conditions even worse. So, not even going outside, staying away from people, being nervous about different things, it brings so much anxiety and frustration to a person.
Right.
So, when I was looking at one of these questions, as a caregiver is such a important, name, word, title. It encompasses so much. Like it's a house manager, case manager, social worker, holistic. I mean, it has so many different things attached to it. And that's so important to realize that as caregivers. I don't know if any of the listeners on today are caregivers, but I just want to give you a round of applause because you really
Yes.
do, take care. You're part of the glue of this, community. Um, and so, as a caregiver, it's so important to take care of yourself.
Yes.
Self care has been the topic of discussion for the past, I don't know, 6 months,
Mhm.
especially among, the women in the Black community, the Black and Brown
Mhm.
community. That's been so important because many times we have been taught to be, the backbone of the community, and we don't have
Mhm.
to. And not, we shouldn't let our feelings or things be shown. But in the meantime, while we're not showing those things, it's sitting in our body and it's affecting our
Mm.
health, and we don't want that. So if we have those emotions that we're dealing with, as well as caring for somebody with a serious chronic illness, maybe even a life-threatening chronic illness, that's a lot to deal with. So it's quite a bit of strain and stress. So some of the things that let me see, some of the strategies that I use was pretty much talked about already with Miss Oil Whisperer. Just really taking a moment and and trying to set a boundary and breathe and get a sense of isolation, but you have to set up a place that's going to be really good for you. Making sure the place area is cleared out. We're talking about springtime rejuvenation. We're here in a fresh new part of the season where the sun is shining, the moon is new,
Yes.
and it's just really important to reflect on that because many times we don't, do we stop and no, we keep going and don't even think about all the implications and all the things that we're carrying, and we're like, okay, I got to do this, now we got to do this, and now we got to do this, let me go take, it's like a checklist, but we forget about ourselves. We might be even on that checklist, but we're at the very end, and if we don't get to that last thing, our self-care, it just we just miss out, and all that stuff we've been doing is just accumulates. So I know I'm putting all this stuff out there, but I just
Yay.
can really relate.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I actually caregiver for two individuals with life-threatening or chronic conditions, and this past, I want to say 6 or 3 months or whatever, has been a doozy. It's been quite a stir, and it's nice to be able to come back on and share this wealth of knowledge that I've accumulated over the past 3 months and things that I've done to support myself. So basically, at first, I've always been a reader.
Okay.
But when you find a book that is
Mhm.
just good, you can get into, sit down and read it. Or if you don't have the time, maybe you can't sit down and read it. I like to listen to audiobooks. Um, I don't necessarily always have my aromatherapy there, but when it's safe to do so, or if there's safe oils to use, I like to put them on my hot spot so I can smell them.
Uh-huh.
Behind the ears, right on the throat area, and the
Uh-huh.
back of the head, the neck. Those are really nice places where even on the wrist right here, I'm sorry, on the
You talk,
wrist.
yeah, you talk about
Use
your
that
meridian points.
perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it really, you don't need a lot. We don't need a lot. Less is more. So those are some things. Reading has been huge for me. I started reading a book. It was a popular movie back in 2016, maybe, with Katniss Everdeen and what's it called? Catching Fire. No, it's not Catching Fire. Anyways, it was that series. Y'all probably don't know.
It's okay. Uh-huh.
Somebody knows who I'm talking about. When you hear the name Katniss, you guys are already going, no, somebody knows who I'm talking about. I always mix up the stories, but there's a nice series of this young girl who gave herself as a sacrifice for her sister.
Mm.
And they go into this, the Hunger Games. There it is. It's
Mm.
called
Okay.
the Hunger Games. So it's been a really nice, storyline. And but anyways, aside from that, of course, journaling. What I think also having a support group, a close network of people, maybe a small group. It doesn't have to be huge. One person that you can really share your thoughts and intimate thoughts with. I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and she was saying that how important it is to have a friend for each thing in your life. A friend to talk
Mm.
about, like if you're married. There's one particular person. Everybody don't need to know. Just one person. Maybe a good friend just to share your own personal thoughts with. A good
Mm-hmm.
friend for your outside activities. So these are part of your network and support, where these people can come in and support you in this way. And so those are some more. Those are holistic. They're natural, easy to do, but we
Yeah.
forget about them because we're so worried about our loved ones. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope that answers some support,
Uh-huh.
some of the questions that anyone may have. But using essential oils has been huge, but it's not everything. And I
Right.
don't mean that in a bad way, but we can put a lot of emphasis on aromatherapy, but sometimes it doesn't touch on everything that we need. We have to use it in conjunction with other things.
Oh,
So there's my spill.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for rounding that out with that. Absolutely. So we bring you information to complement, right? Complement.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely not, advocating that it is the end all be all, but when you can add it to it, it just puts that extra little icing on the cake that,
Yes.
to really to help, So, and I thank you for that. You mentioned something important holistically, having friends with different seasons in your life,
Hmm.
you know, different seasons and reasons. And it does make a
Yes.
difference. You're right. I have a friend who I can talk to about this and a friend I can talk to about that. And
Yeah.
no one person can be everything, so
Exactly.
I definitely can relate to that. So I thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Dr. Sheila, how about you, sweetheart?
Well, hello, everybody, again. I'm known as Dr.
Hello.
Sheila, and I'm an educator and self care advocate for women's wellness. I work with women who are suffering or experiencing brain fog, fatigue, anxiety, sleepless nights. I work with these women using the 5 pillars of wellness. And as
Mhm,
we all talked about it, with Sean and Lee April talked about earlier, it's all dealing with holistic wellness. So I
mhm,
also work with holistic wellness with the mind, body, and spirit,
mhm,
with emotional wellness, mental, social, spiritual, and physical wellness.
mhm.
And I just want to mention I'm from Virginia.
Uh-huh.
And we're known, I guess you could say, some people say we're the coastal Virginia or we're Southern Virginia. I know, and the people that have come here in South Virginia, it gets hot. It gets hot here in the summer.
Uh-huh.
And it gets very humid, and I'm used to it, I guess, because I don't suffer with allergies that much. But I meet so many people that move to the area and they said, I can't take this anymore. This heat is something.
Mhm.
I suffer with allergies all the time and I don't know what to do about it. I'm just suffering. My husband also suffers with
Mhm.
allergies, and he moved from Philadelphia to Virginia.
Mhm.
So one thing about allergies, it can be a problem. And like Lee April said, that essential oils cannot be the be all to help. You have to use something in conjunction.
Mhm.
At one time, my husband did use an essential oil. He used lavender, a mix of lavender and peppermint and lemon to
Mhm.
help him with his allergies, and it helped a whole
Mm.
lot. But there
Mhm.
were times that he needed something else.
Mhm.
So that's true. It cannot be a be all. The essential oils cannot be a be all, but it could help.
Right.
It could
Right.
help. And so, also wanted to mention too that with
Uh-huh.
my business, SJ Wellness,
Uh-huh.
um, as I mentioned before, I do work with women
Mhm.
and fatigue, and I also work with essential oils and
Mhm.
other herbal remedies as well.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And I want to say that the spring is a time of rejuvenation. When I
Mhm.
think of spring, I think of new beginnings,
Mhm.
new opportunities, rejuvenation. That's what I think about. And when it comes to, I want to mention too, when it comes to thyroid, and I also have specialty in thyroid support
Mhm.
and work with women with thyroid. In the winter, the thyroid has to work a little bit harder. It can be a little bit more difficult with the symptoms, the physical symptoms that we can experience in the winter because it's working harder to keep us warm.
Mhm.
And in the summer, it's working extra hard to
Mhm.
keep us cool. So the spring can be a happy medium for
Mhm.
us that we're not too hot, not too cold. It's just right.
Mhm.
So most of the times for people that have thyroid issues in the spring, that could be a beautiful time. But along with that beautiful time, you also have some things you have to do to keep it even keel. And that would mean to eat seasonal foods.
Mm.
Mm.
Bring in
Nice.
those seasonal foods in the spring. I know, in the winter, we eat comfort food a lot. That's what
Mhm.
we do, mac and cheese and all those comfort foods maybe that we shouldn't eat, celebratory foods like of Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
But in the summer, spring
Mhm.
and summer, you have fresh foods to eat, fresh vegetables, and bring them in there for the season because that helps with the hormonal level when you eat seasonal foods. And that also helps with your physical symptoms of the thyroid when you
Okay.
eat seasonal foods.
Right.
Um, and anyone can get flare ups, in the summer or in the spring, but
Okay.
it helps to have a more of a, I guess, healthier diet with bringing in the seasonal foods in. And that's easy to do in the spring.
Okay.
And and for me, what I do in the spring, I try to get outside more. That's so important.
Mhm.
We've been cooped up inside the house. Now you want to get outside and do more activities outside. Um, have a picnic or go hiking, riding the bike, things like that.
Mhm.
And one thing that doesn't take much money to do is
Mhm.
just to go outside of your front door when it gets a little bit warmer with your shoes off,
Hmm.
and you put your feet right on the grass. Put your feet
Okay.
right on the grass, and that's called grounding.
Yes, I've heard of that. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And that gives you a rejuvenation too in your spirit, in your
Uh-huh.
mind, and your body when you put your feet on the ground. It makes you one with the earth. It just rejuvenates you when you do that. So that's one thing that I try to do in the spring and the summer.
Okay.
Um, just like everyone says, I try to journal as well. And
Mhm.
what I love about the spring and the summer is I love with essential oils to use it as perfume. You
Yes.
put it in
Yes.
a roller bottle and you put it on you, dab it on you behind your ears and on the neck and behind the neck, and it just smells so wonderful.
Yes, it
Mhm.
does.
Essential oil
Yes.
smells so wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And oh, one more thing I wanted to say. Um, in the winter, you heard of things called hygie.
So
Hygie
Oh,
how you
is a
yeah.
spelling it,
Danish
sweetheart?
term.
HYGG.
Hygee.
I'll say that one
Hy
more time. H-Y, G-E.
Hygee.
Okay. Okay.
And that's a Danish term for comfort, having more comfort in the winter. A lot of people think about that in the winter to do
Okay.
that, but you can always bring that level of comfort or hygiene in the spring. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be in the winter.
Okay.
Hygiene,
Okay. I'm scrolling across the screen. H-Y-G-E-E.
yes,
G-E-E. Okay.
Hygee.
Uh-huh.
So, one of the things that you can do, a couple of things that you can do is what I mentioned,
Okay.
taking a walk in nature,
Mm-hmm.
meditating,
Mm-hmm.
opening up your window in your house, letting the fresh air
Mm-hmm.
in your house. That's very important too, to get the air out and just let it breathe and rejuvenate. And also
Uh-huh.
purchase flowers, live
Ooh.
flowers,
Uh-huh.
and keep in your home
Mm.
for the oxygen, helps with the oxygen level of the home.
Yes.
So bringing in flowers also is so good to do in the spring.
Wonderful. Thank you for all that. That's dropping all that good knowledge, and I learned a new
Yes.
term today, hygiene. I'm like, okay. Teaching us here for sure. Love it. Absolutely.
And one more thing,
Sure.
Danny, one more thing I wanted to say while I was thinking about it. We were talking about bathing and not to put oils in water.
Yes.
One thing I tried to do and consistently, as much as I can, I don't know if consistently, but when I do it, I love doing it. It is so wonderful and so peaceful and so relaxing. Is
Okay.
I do something like aroma, called aromatic dressing.
Mm-hmm.
So with the aromatic dressing, you take the essential oil, you take
Mm-hmm.
lavender,
Mm-hmm.
and you take maybe frankincense,
Mm-hmm.
and you take orange,
Mm-hmm.
and you put those three oils in with a carrier oil.
Right. Right.
Carrier oil. So I'm talking about carrier oil, like a little thick carrier oil like coconut or
Uh-huh.
jojoba or almond. You put that in a dish and you
Mm-hmm.
mix all of that around.
Okay.
And then after you get out of the shower, you put the oils on like you would do lotion. And you're
Mm-hmm.
going to
Mhm.
start from your feet and move
Yes.
upward toward
Uh-huh.
the heart.
Yes.
Oh, that is a
Mhm.
wonderful
It
practice.
is a wonderful, and you know what? You're so right because I do that too, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily put it in the bottle. I use my lotion. No, no, I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's as long as it's carrying, I think it's okay. But that's wonderful. It is.
Hmm.
It really
Yes.
makes you. It sets the tone for the day. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes. Oh, thank you, ladies, for dropping them gems for us and for this allergy season.
That's wonderful.
And so one of the, just to get into it, and those of you who don't know me, I'm sure many of you do, but for those who you don't, I am a aromatherapist and a social worker. So I have a passion for our social workers. And if you know anything about that work, it's similar to caregiving, but you're dealing with individuals and families in many different capacities. And it's stress related, right? It can be a stressful job. I've been doing it for 20 plus years. And so self-care routine for me is definitely key, because if I can't do self-care for myself, I certainly can't show up for the individuals and families that I serve.
That's right.
Or they say you can't give from an empty cup, right?
Hmm. I didn't know you had been a social worker for 20 years.
Yeah,
That's
20,
excellent.
20
Okay.
plus. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
That's
that's excellent.
wonderful.
That's really good.
Well, thank
Wow.
you, thank you. And
Thank you.
so taking care of myself is just germane. I cannot not do it because it's so emotionally transferring.
Mhm.
I put it that way. When you're hearing things and you're trying to help people navigate their own lives, right? And so going through the seasons, for me, and also I have had issues with asthma and allergies. So I totally understand. I have to walk through seasons very gingerly. And when I say that, I have to stop and take those extra special precautions for me to get through the season. So just like I was mentioning on one of the videos, I have an essential oil that one of my go-to is fir balsam. And it's usually in the fall. So in the fall, you start, it started getting cold and stuff be whipping in the air. But the same thing for spring. I'm like, okay, even though it's coming out of the cold, it's still windy. Things are kicking up, in the air. And so one of the things I do, you mentioned, this might be, a little bit more expensive, but an air purifier. So having an air purifier in my home or where I'm sleeping is key for me. Staying clear, make sure, we were just talking about this before we got on the live, y'all. What we're doing for spring and spring cleaning. I mentioned about spring cleaning. Got to get up the dust. Because otherwise, I definitely, sneezing. And so aromatherapy helps with that. I got my diffuser going. That is one of my go-to, y'all, is the diffuser, right? Either a device diffuser or being a personal diffuser. I've said before that one of my secrets, y'all, is to put a couple of drops on a cotton ball for us ladies, put in our brassiere and be on the go with us. And so you ladies mentioned the essential oil, like I'll do lemon, right? And so this time of year, I like to do the citrusy essential oils, uplift the mood and help with the pollen and all that stuff. So I'll use the lemon or the grapefruit or what else might I use? I will use eucalyptus, but there's a certain type of eucalyptus I use because all of them we know are not created equal. So that being eucalyptus radiata. And so, we're here to share that along with the things that we're telling you about. You need to be mindful what essential oil that you're picking up and why you are using it. We're definitely offering suggestions and things that we do. But it's good to work, if you don't know, if you can, work with a professional who knows what questions to ask in order to help you through a season such as this, right? So that's one of my go-to things. I'll use a diffuser. I'll use my personal diffuser with the cotton ball. Also, Dr. Sheila, you mentioned about the lotion, right? That's and utilizing that as well. I love that idea. One of the things that you ladies may have heard, this dry brushing to help with your lymphatic system. So you're taking that body brush and before you get in the shower, you taking a dry brush and you're brushing yourself upwards. So from your feet on up, your arms, and if you can reach back there. So usually have a long.
I bet that feels good. I can only imagine. Where do you get these?
Yes. I've done that. Your skin feels so soft.
Yeah, it's not hard bristle.
No,
it's soft.
No, and
it's a blend that I use with it as well too. There's an essential oil blend that I use with it.
Yeah, so
for that lymphatic system.
Thank you for bringing that up. I was just about to say that, Sean. You took the word right out of my mouth. I put a drop of essential oil, maybe 1 to 2 drops right on the brush, and I just dry brush it in the shower. You can imagine. So good. It just opens you up. So
now I'm on the hunt for a brush. It's a wrap.
But get a long brush that you can do your back.
Yep, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes. So I thank you for bringing that up. So that's a tip you can do for springtime and the allergies that for me that I try to do. Okay.
And you ladies, it's go ahead. Oil, I'm sorry. It's an oil that I would not have really thought of on my own.
Right.
For allergies. Yeah. But it's 2 of them. That I just recently found out about because they're the anti-inflammatory properties. Yeah. And they work good for allergies. It's copaiba.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. Some people say it differently. I say copaiba. And German chamomile.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have heard the German I call it chamomile. Um, and cocoa ava. Yes, I have heard of that too.
Coca-Cola.
But you gave me
Oh,
something to look at more into for that. As far as for
yeah.
allergies, I tend to stick. You have your favorites.
Mhm.
You may, like, oh, I like these, and I'm gonna stick to those. But there's certainly more
Yeah.
than one.
Yeah.
And
Right.
doing your due diligence and research about them definitely helps. So,
Right.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. I want to bring up this comment, H&D Abroad. Thank you. Hopefully that answers your question, H&D Abroad. She made another comment. Herbs are also spiritual to me and encourage me to be in harmony with the earth and the universe.
Oh
Ooh,
yes. Mhm.
yes. It
That's so
really
important.
it is. And touching on spirituality and the use of essential oils, for whatever, you know, history tells us in different faith texts. I won't name any because there are so many different ones. We've
Mhm.
utilized essential oils for those reasons for centuries, right?
Yeah.
So definitely, I love that you brought that up for sure. And I mentioned I don't leave the house. I've said this many times. I don't leave the house without some essential oil on my body. It's just like
Mhm.
a routine. I don't know about
Mhm.
y'all, but it's like, oh, did I put this on?
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Have
know,
And
to have it.
mhm. And really,
yeah.
I put on essential oils all day. Real. I
Mm.
mean, I have oils I use in the morning. I have some that I use in the afternoon. For pick me up, and then I put on oils at night before I
Okay.
go to bed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All
See, and
right.
that's
Yeah.
why somebody needs to work with the professional women like yourselves, because they need to know how to prepare it, how to
Okay.
have it ready to go, things like that. So just,
Mhm.
hint
Mhm.
hint to the audience, it really makes a difference
Oh
when you have
yes.
somebody there to guide you through. It's
Mhm.
not that easy because we come across these. I remember when I first learned about essential oils. I know we're getting off topic just a little bit, but
No, no, go
I think
ahead.
this is so important. When you come across essential oils, you hear about them, you're like, "Oh, I want to try that. I want to try that."
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes in front of you, you see all these options that you want to try, and you don't know what to use.
Yeah.
Buying a
Absolutely.
whole stash of oils could be so confusing. You have
Mhm.
no idea where to go. So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know what to use and how to use them a lot of
Hmm.
times. And then you get nervous and say, well, I just won't get in it because I don't really know what to do with this. I don't know what
Yeah.
oil is best for me to use.
Right.
Exactly. And
And
that's
then during spring cleaning, we're over there dusting the oils too because they done gained dust because we're not using them. So,
That's true. That's
I'm
true.
glad you brought that up because that's one of the things that I have a passion about and why I started this channel. Making aromatherapy simple,
mhm,
right? That's one of my passions, to make it simple and small bites, because everybody don't want to be an aroma specialist or aromatherapist. Let's be honest.
yeah,
They're like, I don't want all that. I just want to know what to use and when to use it.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
um, but that's a true passion of mine, making it simple so that you can take little chunks of it and say, okay, at least I can make an informed decision. How do I make an informed decision on what to use and how I use it? So I applaud all of us for what we do and for those things that we're doing to try and educate our community, particularly our community, about the safe use of essential oils, right?
Mhm.
Um, Wonderful. Thank you. I'll put the thank you, Ali April. You think high G is spelled
There it
this way?
goes.
Okay.
Yes,
I
Mhm.
wonder
it
what the
has.
correct spelling. I have everybody looking for something that ain't there. So yeah.
Yeah, and actually, it has the two G's versus the two
To
E's.
ease.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
mhm.
Would not have known. Let's see.
That was
Definitely put
someone
your
definitely.
comments in the chat in relationship to this question. What questions might you have about aromatherapy? Um, and the use of essential oils. We're here to share what we know and give you our best practices on how to utilize them, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so going back to you, Sean, you mentioned that your specialty in fibromyalgia, and this, is there anything in particular that this season really is a challenge for you? Like, is there one thing that you can hone in, perhaps, or maybe not, that, or one thing that you just try to prepare for because you understand what this season might bring for you.
Well, aside from that, with if you suffer in addition to the chronic pain, that
Okay.
you also suffer with allergies, then this is just all year round with
Period. Okay, for you.
knowing your limitations, you know, because it's so easy to see what others are doing,
Right.
and we desire to even what I mentioned about what I'm doing, spring cleaning, right?
Right.
But I have to pace myself
Okay.
because I can't just get in and just start cleaning one room after another. I have to literally take it one room at a time, one day at a time. Because what'll happen is when we feel good, then we feel like we can do it all, right?
Yep.
And then the next day we can't get up out of bed. So
Okay. Yeah.
you have to pace yourself, know your limitations, and just be kind to yourself. It's okay, and that's really something that I help ladies to realize that it, like Lee April said, that we look at us as women as we have to be the strong woman, right?
Uh,
Be able to do it all.
right.
No, we have to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
And rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
rest.
Yes.
You don't realize how much. That's another thing. Rest. You don't
Yes.
know realize how much you just need rest. I know there's a thing called nap therapy. You may have heard of it.
Yes, and that's funny that you would say that, because that was the next thing I was going to say. Part of my self-care routine
Yes.
is to take a nap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's tough. That's really
It
tough.
is tough.
It's amazing
Yeah.
if you
Not
can do
for
that.
me.
He said no. That's woo.
Yeah. And
Wow.
if I think about it, I'll turn on the diffuser before I get ready to take a nap so that the room is already permeated with the essential oil. And then I can just, it just makes the ambiance and the room just that much more better and relaxing. So definitely.
But
What
you
was you
know,
going to add to that? Go ahead.
oh, what I was going to say is one thing you mentioned about, taking a nap. I was raised in a family that we didn't do a lot of napping.
Okay.
And as a young girl, I didn't like napping because I felt like I was going to miss out on something.
Okay.
So my mother would make me nap.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd be mad when I wake up because I'm thinking I've missed everything. So now that I'm older, I still don't nap. And then one day I just thought to myself, I said, why don't I just take a nap sometimes? Why am I fighting it now at this age?
Uh-huh.
So I will say Monday through Friday, with working with clients and doing things just like this,
Yes.
I don't take a nap during the week, Monday through Friday, because it's the time go by so fast
Okay.
for me every day working.
Uh-huh.
But then on the weekends,
Uh-huh.
I do take a nap. I make myself actually lay down and take a nap. But I can't sleep like 2 or 3 hours. I might just do maybe an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
That's good for me.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Wow.
And that
Awesome.
rejuvenates me.
Yes.
Really good.
Look, Dr. Sheila, there's nothing wrong with nap 30.
At all.
Nap 30. I love it.
Nap 30. Cat nap.
Yes.
Okay.
You feel better. You feel
Yeah,
like,
I do.
ooh, okay, I got more energy just to have that nap in the afternoon. And isn't there a certain part of the world where they actually do nap on a regular basis? That's just part of their
I've heard
culture.
of that.
I think
Yes.
we in America got it backwards. Work, 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 work,
Yes.
work.
Mhm.
And they would just shut down a part of the day and take long lunches or take a nap. That's the type of life I'm talking about.
That's nice. Yeah. There's actually, it's so you guys are kind of touching on it, but there is some scientific evidence of laying down for, about 15 minutes. In our vertebrae, we have these little sacs that are full of fluid. And when we lay down, they fill back up. And, usually when you're asleep, early in the morning when you wake up, you're taller than you are by the end of the day. So when you lay down and take that nap, those little sacs have been able to fill back up with that fluid to help your body feel, back to its normal homeostasis where it should be. But when we don't rest throughout the day, then it really does have a toll on our body. So I need to listen to myself because it's so hard because there's so much to do. Like, so that's definitely a goal of mine. You guys are just bringing up all kinds of gems here,
Yeah,
and I don't think people understand.
yeah,
It's
but you
very
know what,
simple things.
I love that you said that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, because it gets me to thinking. Okay, I'm already vertically challenged. I don't need to be more vertically challenged. Then, so I need to take myself some more nap. I don't need to be shorter than what I am. Okay,
Oh
so
my goodness. I was thinking the same thing. I need to be taller. I'm short, so I need to be taller.
Oh my goodness!
so I thank you for bringing that up. I did not know that.
Yeah.
How many of
Yes.
you in the audience have known that? About filling up those sacs?
Yeah.
Just don't know the
Yeah.
whole body.
All that pressure, it compresses on your spine, and that's how people get bulging discs. It's because of those
Yeah.
sacs have been depleted and they don't allow their body to get the rest it needs. So,
That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Thank you for that, Jim. All
You're
righty.
welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah. So, looking for any questions in the chat, definitely feel free to join the conversation. Want to add a question, but as we're getting up upon an hour, you ladies what do you want to share? Is there anything else that you want to share with our audience about springtime, about what you're doing, what love you might want to offer the audience today as it relates to the topic today, or something we talked about, or something new?
Well, what I thought about, Danny, and as I thought about it, so I'm going to put it out there. That'll
Okay.
make me do it.
Okay.
So what I want to offer is a PDF of my favorite blends
Okay.
for springtime blends, because there's so many like that I have that are go-tos.
Okay.
After the rain, the sunshine ones, so I'm going to put that together and offer that as a free gift.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome.
So that'll be available, my website. It's pinned there on the screen.
Okay.
But www.aromatic.com.
Okay.
And when I get there, when they sign up with their email, then I'll go ahead and send that out to those that sign up.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. You
Wonderful.
get a free blends that you use, your favorite blends. All right. Thank you for sharing
Nice. Love that.
that, ladies.
Mhm.
I don't have no freebie. I wish I did.
That's okay. What
fine.
you want to share? Whatever it is that you want to share, sweetheart. Either share for our caregivers and anyone in the sickle cell community, or
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I was just thinking, like for the sickle cell community, I know as caregivers, we do all we can for them, but yeah, just I would love to be able to connect with the community.
Yeah.
I didn't give prior information to you, but I could put in the chat my email. That way, folks can reach out to me, and if they need any support, it'll be. Of course, it's limited at the moment, but at least it'll be something. And if they need support with certain services, knowing how to find resources, I would be glad to help out in that way.
Okay.
I will put not in the private chat. I will put I'll have to join the chat, but I don't know what it'll do.
I can type it out for you, sweetheart. What is your email address?
Burton April, Burton April, at the letter Y,
Mm-hmm.
mail, mail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a challenging disease and disorder that, I was talking to a doctor recently about my son, and
Okay.
they said, looking at sickle cell disease as a chronic pain disorder
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do it justice. He said to
Mm.
me, it makes more sense for it to be a stroke disorder versus a chronic pain disorder because that's what's
Mm.
happening. It's a blockage of blood to certain areas of the body. And if you think about a stroke, that's exactly what's happening with the brain, or a
Okay.
heart attack. It's a stoppage of blood
Okay.
the blood vessels. So, and sickle cell can happen anywhere in the body, and um, yeah, it's just very serious. It's very
Okay.
serious. So,
Awesome.
Hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Never thought of it that way. Okay.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty, yeah. So, just you guys reach out to me if you know somebody that can benefit. I've done a lot of research. I am connected with a group called Sickle Cell Medical Advocacy. And what we do is actually reach out to you before you actually get in the hospital, so that you can have the support while you're in there. Because a lot of times there's, once again, those things where people are assuming you're seeking drugs or medication. There's all this back information. Things have gotten a lot better, but there still is a lot of progress that needs to be made. So,
Right. Oh, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Have a whole new perspective about, how I view it now. Yeah.
mhm, yes, thank
Doc-
you.
yeah. Dr. Sheila, dear.
Yes. Danny, could you type this in to the chat, I guess?
Sure. Go ahead,
Um,
sweetie.
you will find me on Instagram at
Mm-hmm.
essential_resilience.
Okay. Is that right? The
And
one below your name, sweetheart?
mm-hmm,
Okay. All right. So they can see it below your name. I was
oh, they
typing it
can?
in. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. They can
And
see it. Uh-huh.
also, one more.
One more.
Yeah, Sheila J. Wellness. I have 2 pages on Instagram.
Okay. Sheila
Uh,
J.
Cen-
Wellness. Uh-huh.
mhm.
Okay.
Sheila J. Wellness is my page where you can go on and click on the link on my
Okay.
bio.
Okay.
If you'd like to um, have a one-on-one consultation with me
Uh-huh.
about wellness, about
Uh-huh.
your physical symptoms, if you suffer with what I mentioned, fatigue, brain fog, sleepless nights, stress, anxiety, you could just find me on there. Sign
Okay.
up for a one-on-one consultation, a discovery call.
Okay.
And Essential Resilience is my essential oil page where I talk
Okay.
about essential oils and affirmations. And on
Nice.
the Sheila J. Wellness page, um, let's see, you'll find one-on-one consultations, as I mentioned. Um, and also, I want to mention too, one
Okay.
more thing.
Uh-huh.
uh,
Sure.
mind roaring. Um,
Take your time.
uh, I'll think about it in a minute. I'm sorry.
No,
It'll
not
come
at
back.
all. We understand.
So much going on. Oh my goodness.
All the things were so wonderful. So they can either reach you at, again, essential_resilience, which is up under your name tag, or
Yes,
Sheila J. Wellness, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, and this is what I wanted to say.
Okay.
For people with thyroid issues, women
Right.
with thyroid issues,
Right.
even though the spring is
Uh,
sprung now, that doesn't mean that you're out of the clear. Everything
oh.
that we mentioned, everything that I've mentioned,
Mhm.
is something that you should look into all year round,
Okay.
not just in the spring.
Okay.
So when you're having issues, when you're having flare ups, what you need to look at, I think, which is most important with
Mm-hmm.
thyroid, even in the spring, summer, winter, fall, is what you're eating.
All right.
And so if
Okay.
you experience a flare up, look at your diet and what you're
Mm.
eating.
Okay.
Um, I know that sometimes it's not always discussed
Mm.
when you go into the doctor. It's not always discussed, but the main thing that I would say is look at the diet. And the main culprit for a lot of physical symptoms of thyroid is gluten.
Hmm.
So you want
What?
to look,
Yeah.
it's gluten.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
have to reach out to you because I do suffer from hypothyroidism.
Mm-hmm.
And you're saying, looking into certain foods. Um, yeah, because I've kind of looked into it just a little bit, and they say there's certain foods that you shouldn't eat at all, but those are the foods that I like, and they're usually generally healthy. I don't mean to, like certain nuts. And so, I mean, it's just really interesting. I'd love to have a conversation with you and find out
Oh
more.
yes,
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
that.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you for bringing that up. Because and one thing I didn't talk about because we didn't touch on this, that was not necessarily our area of topic of discussion, is food allergies. How the food allergies and the gut, you know, your body responds overall. So I love that you brought that up, Dr. Sheila. And gluten,
Yeah.
because I'm gluten free too, and I've been so for years. And there's a number of
Wow.
foods that I had to take off the list once I got a. That's another thing. If anybody heard of getting an allergy test, find out what you might be
Oh.
allergic to. And one of the things I did when I was in college, it was recommended to me because I had an episode, because I mentioned earlier, I had challenges with asthma. And it was a nurse at the university health. I had an episode. He told me, you need to get an allergy test. Never heard of that. Nobody ever said that growing up, all the times that I've been to a doctor. Long story short, got an allergy test, learned that I was allergic to a number of things.
Oh,
I
wow.
was, I mean, different types of foods, nuts, wheat. Wheat
Mm-hmm.
came later, but just certain things, fish, peanuts, um, and that I did not know was causing me problems.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the dermatologist because I have flare ups all over my body, and they just give you creams,
Mm.
give you creams, and send you home. And nobody in my family knowing to take the natural route or to look into alternatives. It wasn't until I got older was I able to research on my own and became, this person to say, okay, I'm tired. I'm
Yeah.
tired of the cream, tired of the flare ups. If you
Mm-hmm.
say it's preventable, so I learned that I need to know what I to do in order to help with this situation. So,
Mhm.
yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Dr. Sheila. So, for everybody out there who haven't thought about it,
Thank you,
if
Dr.
it's
Sheila.
something
Mhm.
You're
recommended, or
welcome.
ask your doctor, get an allergy test. You never know.
That's a good
Mm-hmm.
idea.
You
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
and it's something how sometimes when we get older, we have food allergies that will appear, and you've eaten the
Yes.
same foods over and over again for years, and then all of a
Mhm.
sudden you can't do that anymore.
That's
Right.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
heard of that before too.
Understood.
Yes. And I will say, as I mature, there's some foods I need to put down. The stuff that you
Hmm.
used to indulge in, and then you start to mature, and then your body say, no, no,
No, no.
no, no. Or you might have been able to eat about this much, and your body said, no, we can only handle about this much, right?
Yeah.
Take a couple of
Yeah.
spoonfuls and you're done, right? So
Mhm.
Hmm.
yeah.
It's just like if you're eating like dairy,
Uh-huh.
ice cream or something, and you remember
Mhm.
the time when you can eat all that ice cream when you were
Yeah.
younger, and then when you get older, you realize you can't eat it as much, especially not at night. When you're young, sometimes you can eat ice cream at night, but you try to eat ice cream after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That's too stimulating. I know for me,
Mhm.
Mhm.
it's too. And then you say, oh, then you're up all night
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you can't sleep.
Yes. We have that.
Well, that's because you're
Man.
backfiring. I don't know about you.
Oh, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Like, oh, what was that? Oh,
And your partner might not agree with that. We all married on this, so I can say that.
exactly. Oh,
So,
man.
but,
For real.
but yeah. Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
man.
Well,
Thank you.
there's an interesting comment in the
Okay,
chat.
thank you for that. I'm gonna bring that
Uh-huh.
up. I do want to say hello to Yvette Boone. Hello, ladies. I hopped on right on time because my nap game is awful. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
We want to
Mm.
encourage you, sweetheart. Nap therapy.
Yes. Mhm.
And this aromatherapy essential oils is a bonus if you can. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Oh, and she also mentioned I have adult onset allergies.
I didn't
Ooh.
know that was a
Yeah.
thing.
I didn't either.
Hmm.
Like that's interesting to me. I just
Okay.
I was thinking, okay, from a child.
Uh-huh.
because my child had asthma, and they did the allergy testing,
Okay.
and then it was through that the asthma was actually, they got it under control.
Mhm.
But she's saying that adult onset. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learning stuff all the time.
You just never know, you know?
Hmm.
And
What could help with allergy could be maybe to eliminate dairy for a little while,
Mhm.
mhm,
just
Like a
for a
reset.
while. Yeah, like a reset to
Mm.
yes,
eliminate dairy.
yes. And
Okay.
that was
Mm-hmm.
interesting that you mentioned that. That was one of the things working with a natural health doctor. It was suggested to pull back on things and then start introducing it little by little and see how your
Mm-hmm.
body responds,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
you know. But give your body time to make that response because it'll tell you whether or not it likes something. Sometimes we just don't pay attention. We be like,
Yeah.
I want to eat
Yeah.
this. I'm gonna eat this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes.
we have adverse reactions and we wonder why you have joint pain or circulation problems or
Right.
your nose, why you got a headache all the time. Well,
Hmm.
maybe, just maybe it's be the
Mhm.
things that you're eating that you need to step away from. And I understand that sometimes food in itself can be a touchy subject. I think
You sure
me,
can.
April, we talked about this on another live, like start
Hmm.
stepping on people's toes and you talking about you
Mm-hmm.
might want to give up some
Yeah.
foods, some folks might want to
Yeah.
combat you like, what? I can't get that
Yeah.
That's
That
why I
is.
said don't eliminate, don't avoid, just eliminate for a little while and
yeah,
come back later.
yeah.
Don't get rid of it. Period. Just for a little while.
But how long would you suggest for then?
Oh, I would say at least 7 days, if
7 days,
possible,
maybe.
to start.
Hmm.
Okay.
It'd be good to really do 14, but you
Yes.
know,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I think
yeah.
14 is a good number because I
Hmm.
think that gives everything time to clear out your system. I mean, it doesn't really take real long to
Kind
get
of
through
like
your
a
digestive
detox, huh?
tract, but it's
I was just about to
keeping
say
stuff
that,
in
Sean.
your blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, a
Yeah.
detox if you can. That's another
Hmm.
thing that
Or
was suggested
detox.
Yeah.
for me beginning on this natural health road because this journey to be an aromatherapist was out of result of me having health challenges, wanting to learn about natural modalities, and aromatherapy just happened to come into my world at the time
Yes.
I needed it. But it was first suggested that I do a detox,
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
do
Yeah.
a cleansing as they call it,
Right.
Hmm.
cleansing
Hmm.
Right.
to get your body cleansed and then introduce the foods, and see how it works for you. So
Mhm.
um,
Well, this is the
that's
perfect time. We're in the
in the
In the
spring.
spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Perfect
There are
time
Clear
to
it
do it.
out.
to the year where, because like with nature,
Hmm.
like there's certain times like a liver cleanse,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and then you would do, like a digestional cleanse. But
Hmm.
it's different times of the year. Even it can go, like people take it really um to the point of like with the moon cycle,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
because our bodies are on a cycle.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's
it's
why I
good to
said
learn all of that.
right. And that's why I said there was a comment made in the chat about how they connect with the environment, the earth,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Our bodies
Yeah.
are created just in particular to the earth. Yeah, herbs are also spiritual to me and encourage me to be in harmony with the earth and universe. That's what we're made of. Everything on this earth is what we're made of. So it just makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So why wouldn't now be the proper time to clear out that digestive tract? Because that digestion or that gut is just
Yeah.
about, it's like it's your second brain. We've heard that before.
Hmm.
And get it cleared out so that maybe those allergens can not be so bad.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, for sure. And so, as we're at the little bit after the hours, I thank you, ladies,
Mhm.
for sharing. I do want to add, and just to add for the audience, I did it on my live or video last week. I'm super excited to offer my audience my master class is finally up on demand, y'all.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
super
Yay.
excited about that. Again, I'm passionate about my social workers and counselors. So it's a class for beginners, right? For those of us who in the social work field or in the counseling field or helping professional field, who you deal with stress on a daily basis. You're dealing with that counter transference, as we call it, of emotions and what have you. So you need something else. you know, social workers don't typically social work yourself, right?
No. Right.
You don't social work yourself. So as a gift and a passion of mine, I made my master class on demand as opposed to, doing another master class. So I wanted people to have access to it, right? So it is free, and I put a link to that in the description, but I'll scroll it here. And you can sign up for the master class. It's a preview on the landing page. You get an idea of what you will be looking at. And again, you can watch it at your leisure. And I think it's definitely beneficial to get you jump started to learning how to use essential oils. These ladies, we talked about utilizing essential oils and many different ones, but you need the foundation.
Yeah.
You need the foundation. You need to know about what you need to know about essential oils to make that informed decision, right? So when you're not in the presence of an aromatherapist or aroma specialist such as ourselves, okay, based on what I've learned, here are the basics, and to help you make an informed decision safely. We can't emphasize, I think us ladies agree, we cannot emphasize safety enough.
Right.
Because there's nothing like picking up an essential oil and don't know what you're doing with it. And you might not even should be utilizing that essential oil, right? Because you could have a issue, a health concern for which you're taking medication, right? And that medication interacting with that essential oil is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And so learning what to look for and what properties to look for when you're trying to address a certain condition. So I wanted to give you the basics, my people. I want you to be informed for sure. So check it out. I'll leave the link here. I'll leave it in the description. But yes, it is on demand. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm excited for you. That's wonderful.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Right on time for my social work month, because March is social work month. We're celebrating social workers. I don't have my pom-poms with me. I should have my pom-poms with me.
Social work month.
Yes, celebrating all social workers in the month of March for all that we do and the compassion that we give. And we give so much of ourselves. And you've heard it said, it's a calling. Everybody, it's definitely a calling when you're working. What we do is a calling. So wanted to share that with you. So feel free to check it out and share. So I think that wraps it up for us. Any final words you want to say to our audience as we say good night and thank everyone for being here?
That's what I just wanted to say. Thank everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
We thank you all for being here, showing up on a Friday night, being our little Friday night dates, if you will. Spending time with us, and hope you've gotten value. If you found value, definitely give the video a like and to share. Leave a comment. We do plan to, I'm going to put it out there, ladies. We do plan to have another seasonal talk come the summer. So stay tuned to join us for the summer and find out what other tidbits that we can learn about, changing season with aromatherapy and everything else of best practices that we have to share with you, right? All right. Thank you very much, ladies. I appreciate each and every one of you, Dr. Sheila, Lee, April, and Sean. Thank you, my Aroma sisters, for showing up every time you answer the call. It's a blessing. And we're going to say good night to everyone. Good night, y'all. Thank you for being here.
Good night.
Let us continue to learn, grow, and share together naturally. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.